I have an announcement about re-ranking the MCU because I did the Infinity Saga, so please stay tuned until after the video. What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to Bonanza Gaming, and today we are filming the next episode of Cagetalk, and we're going to be doing the Mortal Kombat ranking video. I'm ranking 12 games from worst to the best, in my opinion. I won't be ranking Anthology Sub-Zero, I won't be ranking the Gold, I won't be ranking the Trilogy, I won't be ranking Special Forces, Mortal Kombat Advance, the Terminate Edition, and the Ultimate Edition I will be ranking. And the Arcade Collection I won't be ranking. So the only special one that's to be in this ranking is Shell and Monks and the Ultimate Edition for Mortal Kombat 3. Now let's get on to the ranking. And coming in dead last, 12th place, is going to be Mortal Kombat versus the DC Universe. Now on paper, this seems like a good idea, but this game shows why Mortal Kombat needs to be rated M. It takes place after Shao Kahn's invasion of Earth realm is halted by Raiden's forces of might. Raiden blasts Shao Kahn through a portal at the exact same time on Earth. On the DC Universe, Superman stops Darkseid by blasting Darkseid with heat vision, and he enters a boom tube and they merge. They don't get destroyed, they merge into one being, and that's Darkhan. And that causes the realms to unite. And each person thinks that one's responsible for the merge. Until the end, where you get to pick who you want to be, the Mortal Kombat side or the DC side, and you get to fight Darkhan. I would personally skip this if I could, but it has a decent roster. On the MK side, you have Baraka, Jax, Kano, Katana, Liu Kang, Raiden, Scorpion, Shang Tsung, Shao Kahn, Sonya Blade, Sub-Zero. On the other side, on the DC, you got Wonder Woman, Superman, Lex Luthor, Joker, Green Lantern, The Flash, Deathstroke, Darkseid, Catwoman, Captain Marvel, and the Batman. This is a okay game. It's canon now. If you've played, I believe it's MK11. Yeah, MK11. It shows like hints of Liu Kang in this timeline, but they needed to make another game because I believe Armageddon was the last game they made before this, and Armageddon was a nail in the coffin when it should have been good, but this game was the final nail in the coffin, and that's why this series got rebooted. Now on to the next game. Coming in at number 11 is going to be Mortal Kombat The Deadly Alliance, and I'll tell you why right now. So Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance came out in 2002. And for the most part, this game had some serious guts, because the game is about Quan Chi escaping from the Netherrealm, and he meets up with Shang Tsung, and they go hunting for the long-lost, forgotten Dragon King and the Dragon King's unbeatable army. They find the unbeatable army and they attempt to put souls into the army. But first, they gotta take out Shao Kahn, who stopped them. And they gotta take out Earth's greatest champion, the warrior known as Liu Kang. And Shang Tsung defeats Liu Kang with the assistance of Quan Chi. Liu Kang is dead. And that upset a lot of people. Them killing Liu Kang was a turning point of the franchise, and this is the first Mortal Kombat game without Liu Kang in any capacity to play as. You have new characters. You have Blaze. Blaze is the main guy you fight in Armageddon. He's a secret character. Then there's Mocap, who's also a secret character. You have Master Baracho. Baracho is a drunk, obese martial arts teacher from Outworld who has taught Liu Kang and Kung Lao. You have Draman, who is a Netherrealm demon, aka Oni, who has a special mask, Jason mask. You have Frost, who's an apprentice of Sub-Zero. You have Hazo Ho, who's Movato's henchman and a member of the Red Dragon. You have Kenshi, who's a blind warrior. You have Li Mei. You have Movato, the leader of the Red Dragon clan. You have Moloch, who's a Netherrealm demon only. And you have Natara, a vampire from Outworld, who wants to restore her original realm. And Natara was recently in the Mortal Kombat movie. It came out this year in 2021. The characters that are returning, you got Cyrax, you got Jax, you got Kano, you got one of my favorites, Johnny Cage, you got another one of my favorites, Princess Katana, you got Kung Lao, you got Quan Chi, you got Raiden, Reptile, Scorpion, Shang Tsung, Sonya Blade, and Sub-Zero. You got all those characters to play as in this game. I would play this game every now and then when I was a kid growing up, but I didn't really like this game because the roster was kind of weak and they killed off Liu Kang. And there wasn't like a real story mode. You just did the arcade and you went through their version of the story mode with everybody, and that's how you got Blaze. That's why this game is so low on the list, because Liu Kang's dead, Shao Kahn's dead, and the story mode was weak, in my opinion. Now on to the next Mortal Kombat video game. And the next video game is Mortal Kombat number 4. Now this game, I don't really remember playing that much. It came out in, I believe, 97. So it was like around 4. So yeah, I probably did play back in the day. It takes 1,000 years before the first setting of the game. Shinnok, one of the Elder Gods who controlled the 6 realms of the MK universe, attempted to become the conqueror of them all. Thunder God Raiden fought and defeated Shinnok in a war that spanned thousands of years, sending him to the Netherrealm where he would be trapped forever. Now Shinnok managed to escape the Netherrealm with the help of sorcerer Quan Chi and seeks vengeance against the Elder Gods who banish him in his plan. He first conquers the realm of Edenia with the aid of a traitor named Tanya, while he prepares the attack of on the Elder Gods. In order to stop Shinnok's menace, Raiden requests help from the Earth Realm's warriors who saved the realms from the Emperor Shao Kahn in the previous Mortal Kombat titles. Now, this game introduces a series favorite, Fujin. They introduced Jarek, the last member of the Black Dragon clan, after Kano's supposed death. Kai, a Shaolin monk and a friend Liu Kang. A hidden character named Meat. Quan Chi, Reiko, Shinnok, and Tanya. Returning characters are Goro, Jax, Johnny Cage, Liu Kang, Noob Saibot, Raiden, Reptile, Scorpion, Sonya Blade, and Sub-Zero. This game was good at its time, and it came out on Game Boy Color. And it also spawned Mortal Kombat Gold, which was for, I believe, the N64. Or it was for one of the Sega Dreamcasts. Because it came with 6th generation. Yes, the Sega Dreamcast. I personally don't like this game, but it is pivotal to the story. Now on to the next game. So this next one has two versions of the game, so it's going to be both versions are ranked right here. But I'm going to use the Ultimate version, and that is Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Now, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 is the complete version of the game, and it came out in '95. The Ultimate version did. This is basically Shao Kahn has Shang Tsung resurrect Princess Katana's mom, Queen Sindel, but he can't do it in the Netherrealm or Outworld. Shang Tsung has to resurrect her in Earthrealm, and Shao Kahn goes to retrieve her, and that temporary merges the realms, and Raiden can't interfere. So he has his Earthrealm champions fight for Earth to stop Shao Kahn at all costs. Now, the Ultimate version has Jade, Katana, Reptile, Scorpion in the game. They also have a way to unlock Classic Sub-Zero, Ermac, and Melina, Katana's evil twin. And they have new characters: Cyrax, Cabal, Nightwolf, Sector, Queen Sindel, Shiva, and Cyrax. Jax, Kano, Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Sonya Blade, Sub-Zero, Shang Tsung, and Smoke are also in this. You have Shao Kahn, who is the main boss, and the sub-boss is Motaro. And spoiler alert, Motaro hunts down and kills Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage dies in this one, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's one of my favorites, and he dies in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. I don't remember how he came back alive, but he does, because I believe he's in Deadly Alliance. Yeah, he's in Deadly Alliance. But would I play this game again? Yes, I would. Is this game good? Yeah, it's good. Which one should you play? If you want to pick between the two, I would play Ultimate 3. Because, like I said, it's a complete version of the game. And Johnny Cage is in Mortal Kombat 4. So, now on to the next Mortal Kombat video game. And now the next video game is in the Mortal Kombat 1, the original Mortal Kombat. I'll tell you why right now. The game that started it all is ranked right here. Mortal Kombat, the original, has 7 playable characters: Johnny Cage, Kano, Liu Kang, Raiden, Scorpion, Sonya Blade, and Sub-Zero. The game takes place in Earthrealm, where a tournament is being held on Shang Tsung's island, on which 7 of its locations serve as stages for the game. The introduction to Mortal Kombat explains that Shang Tsung has been banished to Earthrealm for 500 years previously, and with the help of the monster Goro, he's able to seize control of the Mortal Kombat tournament and attempt to doom the realm. For 500 straight years, Goro has been undefeated in Mortal Kombat and won 9 straight tournaments. If Goro wins again, Shao Kahn, the Emperor of Outworld, will be allowed to take Earthrealm. In order to prevent this, a new warrior of this generation must challenge Goro. The player receives the information about the characters and biographies. The bulk of the game's backstory and lore was told in a comic book, but some additional information about characters and their motivations for entering the tournament is received upon completion of the game with each character. Now, this is a classic, will always be a classic, and I'm paying respect to it from putting it right here. But there are better games in the series with better characters. And that's why it's ranked here. Now on to the next game. Alright, coming in next is going to be Mortal Kombat 2. I'll tell you why right now. From what I can remember, Mortal Kombat 2 came out the year I was born, 1992. And it follows Liu Kang and company after the end of the first game with the evil Shang Tsung begs his master Shao Kahn, the supreme ruler of Outworld and the surrounding kingdoms, to spare his life. He tells Shao Kahn that if they hold the next Mortal Kombat tournament in Outworld, the Earthrealm warriors must travel away from home to attend. Kahn agrees to this plan and restores Shang Tsung's youth and martial arts powers. He then extends the invitation to the Thunder God and the Earthrealm Protector, Raiden, who gathers his warriors and takes them to Outworld, and the new tournament is much more dangerous as Shao Kahn has the home field advantage. According to the Mortal Kombat canon, Liu Kang won this tournament as well, defeating Shao Kahn and his bodyguard Kintaro. The game's story mode can be finished using any other playable character, resulting in a different non-canon ending for each one. The base roster is as follows. It has Baraka, Jax, my two favorites, Johnny Cage and Katana, Kung Lao, Liu Kang, Mileena, Raiden, Reptile, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Shang Tsung. New playable characters are Baraka, Jax, my favorite, the Princess Katana, Shao Kahn's Mileena, Katana's evil twin, sister / assassin for Khan, and Kung Lao. Boss characters are Kintaro and Shao Kahn. Returning characters are the rest of the people that are obviously in the game. This game is a good game. I remember playing it back in the day on, what was it? Was it in the arcade and the SNES when I was a kid, because my brother had all the game systems growing up, and this game got me hooked on Mortal Kombat. It's good, but it's not my favorite. Now on to the next game. Coming in next is going to be Mortal Kombat 2011, and this is the first game of the new timeline. It's the reboot, and it is Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. Those three games into one game. And during the Armageddon War, all the warriors from all the realms have been killed, leaving only two, and that is, spoiler alert, Raiden and Shao Kahn. If I sound a little better, it's because I took some throat spray and took some medicine. Having defeated Blaze, Shao Kahn is given godlike power and easily overpowers Raiden. In an final attempt to stop Shao Kahn, Raiden casts one last spell to send a message to his past self through his shattered amulet with the vague message he must win before being killed. That's dark, isn't it? And you play the chapters, and some people die. I won't tell you who died, but you gotta find that out for yourself. And there's a cliffhanger with Quan Chi and Shinnok setting up Mortal Kombat 10. The base roster is the following: Baraka, Cyrax, Cyber Sub-Zero, Ermac, Jade, Jax, Johnny Cage, Cabal, Kano, Katana, Kratos from God of War, but that's for only the PlayStation, Kung Lao, Liu Kang, Melina, Nightwolf, Noob Saibot, Quan Chi, Raiden, Reptile, Scorpion, Sector, Shang Tsung, Shiva, Sindel, Smoke, Sonya Blade, Striker, and Sub-Zero. The DLC are Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street, Kenshi, Rain, and Scarlet. There's 28 playable characters at launch, and the 4 fighters that were DLC. This was a really good game, and this brought some fresh air of life into the Mortal Kombat video games that was much needed after the awful Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. Because I'm pretty sure that came before this, because they would not have done that game and this game in between 10. Because I know they did a comic book leading up to 10. And a lot of people die in this one and they become revenants of themselves. Spoiler alert if you don't want to know who they are. Not Melina. Katana was a revenant. Kung Lao, Liu Kang, Nightwolf, Jax, Jade, Sindel, and Sub-Zero died and became Cyber Sub-Zero. I'm trying to remember who all died by Sindel, because he killed a lot of people in that temple. Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade were the only fighters that survived that attack. Some people like this game, some don't, but it's in the middle for me. But that's just my opinion. I don't like it because they killed Katana. Now on to the next game. Coming in next is going to be Mortal Kombat 10. I'll tell you why right now. Mortal Kombat 10/XL is the next chapter in the new Mortal Kombat timeline. It picks up 2 years after the events of Mortal Kombat 9, where Shao Kahn was defeated, and Shinnok is now attacking Earthrealm with his army of the Netherrealm demons, as well as the fallen Earthrealm warriors who were killed during the Shao Kahn invasion, and they were now are resurrected as revenants who are under Quan Chi's control. After fighting their fallen comrades, a team of warriors led by Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, and Kenshi open a portal to Raiden's Sky Temple and head to the Gensai Chamber, the source of Earthrealm's life force. There, they see Raiden and Fujin battling Shinnok and his Netherrealm demons. Inside, when Shinnok is about to kill Sonya Blade, Johnny Cage rushes to defend her, and he awakens an ancient superpower within himself. Using his newfound powers, Johnny holds off Shinnok long enough for Raiden to steal Shinnok's amulet and imprisons him in the amulet. Quan Chi escapes. 20 years later, after Shinnok's defeat, Johnny assembles a new team of young fighters who are going to lead the game and the series into a new franchise. There we meet some of the fighters we know and we've loved through the entire series and we've played as. And we see their kids. And I'm going to tell you the new characters and the returning characters for this game. Cassie Cage, she is the daughter of Johnny Cage and
Sonya Blade. Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade were married and they got a divorce. Surprise, surprise. Devora. Devora is the most hated person in the Mortal Kombat universe. Top 5 most hated. And there's a reason why. You gotta play the game to find out why. Ermac. We know who Ermac is. Ermac Black. He's a hitman for hire. He's an outlaw. Therator. That's kind of a fan favorite. People like Therator, some people don't. Goro is back. Jackie / Jacqueline Briggs. Jackie Briggs is the daughter of Jax, and his wife is not a fighter. It's like his wife is a nurse that he met after Jax got saved. Jax, Sub-Zero, and I believe it was Scorpion got saved before everything went to crap after the 20 years. Johnny Cage is back. Kano. Kenshi. One of my favorites. Princess Katana. The new Khan. Kotal Khan. Kung Jin. Kung Jin is a descendant from Kenshi. And he is, I believe, the first... No, he's the descendant from Kung Lao. Kenshi's son is in this, that's why. He's a descendant from Kung Lao, and he is the first homosexual character in the Mortal Kombat universe. Kenshi's son is Takeda. He's a member of the Takeda's a member of the Shirai Ryu, and he's the son of Kenshi. And he is the soon-to-be husband of Jackie Briggs. You got Kung Lao, Liu Kang, Mileena, Quan Chi, Raiden, Reptile, Scorpion, Shinnok, and I believe you can play as Corrupted Shinnok because Shinnok is the main villain in this one. You got Sub-Zero and Sonya Blade and Takeda, who I mentioned earlier. And the combat pack in this one was really good. You have Jason Voorhees, Predator, Tanya, and Tremor in the combat pack 1. Combat pack 2, you have Alien, Baracho, Triborg, which is Sector, Smoke, and Cyrax, like all in one. It's been a while since I played this game. And Leatherface. I'm not gonna tell you how this ends, but this sets up Mortal Kombat 11 when Raiden decapitates and kills Shinnok and delivers his severed head to Liu Kang and Katana. So I did tell you how it ends, but I'm not gonna tell you everything that happens in this one. How about that? Go buy the game. I like this one. It's pretty good. Sector, Smoke, Cyrax, and Cyber Sub-Zero is the Triborg. People like Mortal Kombat 10, but people don't like it because of a certain death. I won't tell you who died because I want you to go figure that out for yourself. Now, let's get to the next game. Coming up next is the fan favorite Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. So Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks is a fan favorite by basically half of the Mortal Kombat community. I don't like it because it has a small roster, but it is a tremendous game. It has a single player mode and it has a co-op mode where you can play the story mode with your friend. And it has a versus mode. Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks does have a small roster, but I'll get to that later. It did come out in 2005, so that game is really old for those of you that were wondering. So the plot to this game is it spans the events of Mortal Kombat 2, starting with the aftermath of the first game. The battle rages on as Shang Tsung watches his fighters go up against the Earthrealm warriors on Shang Tsung's island in the fortress in the Lost Sea. The Earthrealm shaman monk Liu Kang defeats Shang Tsung, and the warrior Prince Goro comes to his defense, with Goro distracting everyone else. Shang Tsung creates a portal to Outworld and retreats with his allies. Thunder God Raiden then appears and warns the remaining fighters to get off the island because it is about to collapse into the sea. Everybody but Liu Kang and Kung Lao evacuate and escape to the Wuxi Academy. Liu Kang and Kung Lao, however, have to find another way to the Wuxi Academy. Upon arrival, Raiden awards his Earthrealm warriors for saving Earthrealm. However, Baraka and his Takardan army attack the Wuxi Academy. Although the Takardans are defeated, Baraka captures Sonya Blade. Raiden confirms that Shang Tsung is trying to lure Liu Kang and his allies to Outworld, where he can demand his henchmen to attack them and bribe his time for power. If successful, Shang Tsung will conquer Earthrealm without winning a Mortal Kombat tournament, which is cheating. Liu Kang and Kung Lao journey through the nightmares realm of Outworld to stop the Sorcerer's plot. They are guided by Raiden and assisted by Johnny Cage. Throughout their journey, they meet several allies and learn of another person who wants Earth, the Emperor of Outworld, Shao Kahn. During their journey, all of Liu Kang and Kung Lao's allies are captured. Once reaching Shao Kahn, Shang Tsung is revealed to have been impersonating Raiden on occasion in the pair's journey, so that each of those allies will defeat and enhance his powers enough to steal Shao Kahn's rule of Outworld. Liu Kang and Kung Lao, the two Shaolin monks, defeat Shang Tsung, and they defeat Kentaro, and are challenged by Shao Kahn. With the real Raiden's help, Liu Kang and Kung Lao finish the Emperor and are both given the title of champions with their friends. And Outworld is safe. Raiden's group returns to Earthrealm to celebrate their victory. But unknown to the others, Quan Chi picks up his amulet and laughs mercifully, concluding the story. I probably said that wrong, but I don't care. And now the roster to this game are Baraka, Princess Katana, Sub-Zero, Kung Lao, Liu Kang, Scorpion, Johnny Cage, and Reptile. That's a good roster, but it could be better. Some people like it, some people don't. But it's the only game that I know of in the Mortal Kombat universe so far that has a co-op story mode, I believe. Because I can't remember any other of the other ones if they do that. Now on to the next game. Sorry about that. I am like really sick, so I'm trying not to cough. I have another sinus infection, so I'm gonna try to power through this and get the next Cagetalk and rest for a couple days. So the next Mortal Kombat video game is gonna be Mortal Kombat 11. I'll tell you why right now. Mortal Kombat 11, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, whatever you want to call it, is the latest Mortal Kombat video game in the video game franchise. Mortal Kombat 11's plot, it picks up immediately following Shinnok's defeat. Dark Raiden plans to protect Earthrealm by destroying all of their enemies and making an example out of Shinnok. He decapitates Shinnok, which we see later on back in Mortal Kombat 10 at the end. He throws Shinnok's head at Kitana and Liu Kang. This act inspires Kronika, Shinnok's mother and the Keeper of Time, to rewrite history in order to erase Raiden's interference. 2 years later, Special Forces, led by Sonya Blade, Cassie Cage, and Jackie Briggs, attack NetherRealm, with Raiden providing a diversion to aid them. The team is successful in destroying the NetherRealm castle, but the cost of that is Sonya's life. Kronika creates an alliance with residents of Liu Kang and Kitana, who are now rulers of NetherRealm. Meanwhile, Kotal Khan, the current emperor of Outworld, attempts to execute Shao Kahn's loyalists, the Collector. New character, we've never seen him before. I don't believe he was mentioned at all before this game, but is interrupted by a time storm, and that time storm brings Shao Kahn, Scarlet, Baraka, and the younger version of Kano, Aaron Black, Jade, Raiden, Kitana, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Sonya, Jax, Scorpion, Cabal, and Kung Lao from an alternate timeline, and erases Dark Raiden from existence. A battle erupts in Kotal Khan's Coliseum until Devora transport Baraka, Scarlet, and Khan, and Black and Kano to her hive, recruiting them into Kronika's squad. Liu Kang and Kung Lao and Raiden appear at the Earthrealm Special Forces headquarters after forging an alliance with Kotal Khan, while Jade and Kitana aid Kotal in protecting Outworld from Kronika's forces. Liu Kang and Kung Lao. I wish it was Liu Kang and Kitana, because I want to see more of them connect when they were good. But Liu Kang and Kung Lao investigate the Wuxi Academy and encounter Kronika's henchman, Gary's. They are subsequent. Battle ends with Gary's using his powers to escape with powerful energy capsules containing Earthrealm life forces. Special Forces learn that Sector is backed by Noob Saibot and is cybernetic partner for us. Is building a cyborg army for Kronika. Sub-Zero and Hanzo Hasashi, aka Scorpion, are sent to the factory to stop them. With Cyrax's aid, they shut down the cyber Lin Kuei forces, Gears, and both versions of Kano arrive to revive Sector and rebuild the cyber army for themselves. Raiden tries to consult with the Elder Gods. They refuse to help, but Cetrion gives him a clue to defeat Kronika during a later attempt. Raiden discovers that the Elder Gods were killed, and Cetrion betrayed them to serve her mother, Kronika. Kotal Khan and Jade go to the Taikatan camp in order to turn them away from Shao Kahn. But Kotal's hatred towards the Taikatans causes Jade to battle him before Shao Kahn appears and captures them. Special Forces his base is destroyed by the Black Dragon and the Cyber Link Way, with the younger version of Johnny and Sonya captured in the process, the elder Johnny wounded, and Sector killed due to the destruction of Sub-Zero's Linkway Temple, Wuxi Academy's Sky Temple, and the Special Forces base. The Shiraryu Garden is the only safe haven left for the Earthrealm heroes. Cassie leads a strike team to save her parents, where Sonya kills the younger version of Kano to erase his present self from existence. Meanwhile, Katana, Liu Kang, Kung Lao battle Baraka in order to secure an alliance between him and Shiva. With their aid, Katana successfully defeats the blinds Shao Kahn, uniting Outworld's fractions and inheriting the throne of Koto. Raiden sends Jax and Jackie to get the crown of souls from Shang Tsung's now abandoned island. But is it abandoned? No. But the pair are thwarted by Cetrion and present-day Jax, who has been deceived by Kronika. Hanzo is tasked with getting Carrion, their ferryman of Netherrealm souls, to join their side so they can travel to Kronika's fortress. Hanzo Hasashi fights his younger self and persuades him to join his side, only to be mortally wounded by Devora. Scorpion drives her away and returns to the Fire Garden to honor Hanzo's dying wish. However, an enraged Raiden attacks him on sight, resorting to using Shinnok's amulet. Liu Kang intervenes, causing Raiden to see that they have fought in multiple timelines, and realizes Kronika orchestrated all of them because their combined strength is the only thing that can stop her. Anticipating this, Kronika kidnaps Liu Kang to weaken the heroes, with Kronon recruited a joint Earthrealm Outworld assault keeps Kronika at bay. Gary's is dropped into the bottom sea of blood. Frost is shut down, disabling the Cyber Linkway, and the ordered Jax deflects to the hero's side. Once he has absorbed his past soul, Kronika sends Revenant Liu Kang to attack Raiden. After defeating him, Raiden merges him with past Liu Kang to make Fire God Liu Kang. Acquiring the memories of knowledge of Kronika's plan and from his Revenant self in the process, the heroes breach the keep, only for Kronika to turn back time to its beginning. Fire God Liu Kang, however, proves immune due to his godlike status, and subconsciously defeats the remaining Revenants and Cetrion before battling Kronika. Now, here's where this is very important. Depending on the outcome of the battle, the story could end in 3 different ways. If Liu Kang defeats Kronika, if Liu Kang doesn't defeat Kronika, she kills him and ushers in her new era. If Liu Kang successfully defeats Kronika, but loses 1 round to her, he is unable to bring back Katana, so Katana dies in this one, you guys, and that's a no-no for me. Reverting history too far, instead, a now mortal Raiden offers to become Liu Kang's advisor for as long as his life lasts. This is the canon ending that sets the stage for the expansion aftermath. Because this is the ending that I got. If you defeat Kronika 2 consecutive rounds without losing, he manages to reunite with Katana, and they both vow to create a new and better timeline while undoing Kronika's mistakes. Though they realize that mortals will still make their own choices and the new evils will eventually arise, they resolve to face whatever happens together. Now that's the end of launch storyline. They released a second DLC storyline called Aftermath, and I'll get into that right now. So the Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath expansion picks up immediately following Kronika's defeat. There, Fire God Liu Kang, Raiden attempt to utilize Kronika's hourglass to restore history. When they are interrupted by Shang Tsung, Fujin, and Nightwolf, all of whom were imprisoned by Kronika and put into the void for refuging to join her in her fight. They are released after she's defeated and dies. Shang Tsung elaborates that due to Liu Kang destroying the Crown of Souls, when he defeated Kronika, the hourglass cannot be used and change history without destroying it. He convinces Liu Kang to send him, Fujin, and Nightwolf back in time to steal the Crown of Souls before Cetrion can retrieve it. Though Raiden is distrustful of Shang Tsung's motives, Liu Kang agrees and sends them back in time to protect the hourglass. Fujin, Shang Tsung, and Nightwolf are transported to the Colosseum just as Katana confronted Shao Kahn. They attempt to flee undetected, but news spreads of their arrival, promoting Kronika to retaliate, to face Cetrion on his island. Shang Tsung determines their best option is to resurrect Queen Sindel. So they head to the Netherrealm and capture her revenant. Returning to Outworld, Shang Tsung uses Shiva's blood debt to Sindel to grant him access to the show chamber and restores Sindel despite fierce resistance from Katana and her allies. Sindel joins Shang Tsung and the others in traveling to his island, where Fujin defeats Kronika's forces and convinces present-day Jax to switch sides early, while Sindel defeats Cetrion and helps the group capture the crown. With the crown in their possession, Fujin and Night and Shang Tsung travel to the Fire Garden to convince Raiden of his alliance with Shang Tsung. When Kronika's attempt to intervene, Raiden, Fujin, and Shang Tsung fend her off, though she reveals the sorcerer was the one who designed the crown. As the offense on Kronika's keep is about to commence, Shang Tsung signals Sindel to heal Shao Kahn and betray and defeat Shiva. As he gains control over Shiva's army. Together they destroy Gary's. They imprison the Cage family, defeat Princess Katana, Liu Kang, and Jade. They then toss Kung Lao to the Sea of Blood and kill Kotal Khan. In the process, Sindel reveals that she betrayed and that she killed her husband Jared, as she saw him as weak and compared to Shao Kahn. While Fujin spearheads the offensive on Kronika's keep, Raiden discovers Shang Tsung's plot, and Sindel betrays while Liu Kang's revenant receives injuries from his past self. Raiden arrives too late to stop Shang Tsung from tricking Fujin into giving him the crown. The sorcerer gains Kronika's full power. He had planned everything ever since Kronika imprisoned him. He overpowers them and he drains Raiden and Fujin of their souls before using Sindel and Shao Kahn to reach the hourglass. Once Kronika's remaining allies are killed and defeated, Shao Kahn, surprise, surprise, eventually betrays Sindel and Shao Kahn and drains their souls. He then absorbs Kronika after her defeat. As he's starting to approach the hourglass, he is then interrupted by Fire God Liu Kang, who reveals he has always been aware of Shang Tsung's intentions and allowed him to win so the Crown of Souls would be preserved when Kronika was defeated. From this point, the player can pick the outcome that they want, the good or bad outcome. The bad outcome, if Shang Tsung wins, he overpowers Liu Kang, absorbs his soul, before turning Raiden and Fujin into his dark slaves, as he ushers in a campaign of conquest across the realms. The good ending is Liu Kang wins, defeats Shang Tsung, erases him from existence, recovers the Crown of Souls. Once he forwards in his new timeline, his new era, he visits a Shaolin temple so he can train Kung Lao's ancestor, the great Kung Lao, early to become his champion in Mortal Kombat. So that's the question. Are we going to get a sequel off of that? Off of the great Kung Lao? From back in the day? Or are we going to just get a sequel off of this? I hope we get a sequel off of this. Because either way, it's going to lead to Armageddon. In my mind. Now, the base roster is Baraka, Cassie Cates, Cetrion making her debut. Devore is back. Aaron Black is back. Frost. Gary's making his debut. Jackie Briggs is back. Jade is back. Jax is back. Johnny Cage is back. Cabal is back. Kano's back. Princess Katana is back. Making his debut is the Collector. Kotal Khan's back. Kung Lao's back. Liu Kang's back. Noob Saibart's back. Raiden's back. Scorpion's back. Shao Kahn's back. Scarlet's back. Sonya's back. And Sub-Zero's back. Now, Combat Pack 1 is the Joker from the DC Comics. Nightwolf returns for the first time, I believe, since he was in MK10. Shang Tsung is back. I think this is his first time back since Mortal Kombat 9. Sindel is back, the Terminator, and finally making his Mortal Kombat debut, Spawn. A lot of people were asking for Spawn. The Aftermath bundle. Fujin, Shiva, and Robocop. This is Fujin's first game since, I believe, Armageddon. Shiva's first game since Mortal Kombat 9, and Robocop, obviously, his first game in Mortal Kombat ever. Because he's a guest character. And the last combat pack is John Rambo, Melina, after countless of requests to put Melina back in the game after she got killed off in MK10. Spoiler. And Rain. This is his first game, I believe, since Mortal Kombat Armageddon as well. This is a good Mortal Kombat game. But where are they going to go from here? That's my question. Now on to the second game. And coming in the second best Mortal Kombat game in my mind is Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Mortal Kombat Armageddon was supposed to be the last Mortal Kombat video game, but as we know, that didn't happen. Armageddon has the Return of Conquest mode. It has a minigame that is like Mario Kart, and it has Create a Fighter, which everybody wants back. That's why this game is so high on the list. And it also has the biggest fighting roster in the game's history, because everybody's in it. Everybody who's been introduced up to this point. So the people from 10 and 11 are obviously not in it. The conquest starts out as this. In Edenia, the sorceress Delia has visions of the future where forces of good and evil will engage in a final battle of mortal combat that threatens to end all the realms. In an effort to spare the realms, Delia's husband Argus, an elder god, constructs a pyramid where the battle will take place, and his sons Taven and Dagon are put into a dormant status in the caverns. Delia instructs her elemental Blaze to signal to the dragons to awaken them just before the final battle commences. In the future, Taven is awakened by his dragon Orin in Earthrealm and is told that he and Dagon are going to be competing against each other in their quest. Wishing to speak to his father, Taven is then teleported to his father's temple and fights several members of the Black Dragon, as well as mysterious warriors in red, only to find it deserted. He then finds a message left to him and Dagon by Argus, stating that they will be competing to take his place as an elder god. By defeating Blaze, that is the only way. Taven's father has left weapons for each of them. When Taven finds both weapons are missing, he is suddenly ambushed by Sector. Despite being imprisoned by Sector and put on a Trikun warship, Taven manages to free himself and defeat Sector before escaping back to Orin's portal. Taven then travels to his mother's temple in the mountains, where she left armor for Dagon and himself. Upon reaching the temple, Taven finds that it has been occupied by the Lin Kuei and is forced to fight through the assassins, including Frost and the Grandmaster Sub-Zero. Upon defeating the latter, Taven retrieves the armor and is soon attacked by the Dark Lin Kuei alongside Sub-Zero. Taven defeats the attackers after fighting both Smoke and Noob Saibot. For Taven's assistance, Sub-Zero reveals the identity of the mysterious warriors who keep on attacking him. They are known as the Red Dragon, and that their base is on the Sacred Mountain. Upon traveling through the portal, Taven is forced to fight Fujin. When the latter warns him to return to Edenia, Taven reluctantly defeats the One God and proceeds to the Red Dragon stronghold and fights Dagon, who is much older now. Despite being reunited with Dagon, he reveals himself as the leader of the Red Dragon and his intentions to kill Taven in order to kill Blaze first. Taven then fights several enemies and eventually finds Dagon's dragon, Karo, who had been imprisoned and experimented on. Upon being freed, Karo reveals that he had accidentally awoken Dagon earlier than planned, which resulted in Dagon seeking out and murdering Argus and Delia, their parents. Upon learning the true nature of the competition, hoping to atone for his mistakes, Karo confirms that Dagon has gone to the Nether Realm and plans to stay behind to destroy the Red Dragon stronghold. Arriving in Netherrealm, Taven reports and is ambushed by Draman before noticing Shinnok being attacked by Li Mei. Believing that he is an elder god, Taven comes to Shinnok's defense and is later tasked to help reclaim his shrine in exchange for answers for Dagon's whereabouts. After Taven defeats Havoc, Shiva, and Kentaro, Shinnok reclaims his throne and informs Taven that Dagon has returned to Earthrealm and transports him there. However, it is revealed that Shinnok is actually assisting Dagon and has informed other warriors of the contest prize in order to eliminate all competitors. Upon entering Orin's cave, Taven is mortally wounded after an attack by Quan Chi. On the verge of death, Orin keeps Quan Chi's portal open to prevent Taven from remaining trapped inside the cave with him. Vowing revenge, Taven goes through the portal and arrives at Shao Kahn's palace in Outworld. After reaching the palace's dungeon, Taven fights and defeats Molina. Comes across a captive Shujinko. Shujinko is the guy we play as in Deception, who informs him of a meeting taking place in Shao Kahn's throne room. After fighting through Goro and Reiko, Taven reaches the meeting between Quan Chi, Shang Tsung, Onaga, and Shao Kahn, where they all agree to an alliance to take the possession of the contest prize before transporting themselves to Argus' pyramid. Before he can follow, however, Taven is confronted by Raiden, who reveals he made a deal with Shao Kahn to assist him in exchange for Earthrealm's independence. Shocked at Raiden's betrayal, Taven defeats him before taking Quan Chi's portal through Dinya. Once through the portal, Taven fights and defeats Scorpion before being confronted by Dagon. Before they can fight, however, they are interrupted by Blaze, who informs them that the competition has been corrupted and they're fighting in the wrong place. Transported to the edge of the crater, Taven and Dagon engage in a final battle. Although Taven ultimately kills Dagon, he becomes delusional with the quest and refuses to go further until Blaze reveals the true nature of the quest. With all the fighters engaged in Mortal Kombat, in the crater, Blaze reveals that it will be the centerpiece of the apocalypse unless the quest is fulfilled with their respective armors being the catalyst for the ending of Armageddon. Only Taven and Dagon are meant to defeat Blaze, with one or two outcomes occurring depending on which brother completed the quest first, and will either destroy all the warriors or strip them of their powers and abilities. Reclaiming his sword from his fallen brother, Taven travels through a portal to confront Blaze. After fighting his way to the top of the pyramid, Taven confronts Blaze in a non-canon ending. Taven manages to defeat Blaze and become an Elder God. However, neither outcome occurs. Instead, the fighter's powers increased. Taven vows to use his status as an Elder God to find another solution to prevent Armageddon. And that is the end of this timeline, because after this we got MK versus DC, then we got the reboot for MK9. Now let's get to the playable fighters for this game. The playable fighters are Ashra, Baraka, Blaze, Barajo, Chameleon, Cyrax, Dagon, Dararu, Darius, Draman, Ermac, Frost, Fujin, Goro, Havoc, Hotaru, Hasu, Hao, Jade, Jarek, Jax, Johnny Cage, Cabal, Kai, Kano, Kenshi, Chameleon, Kentaro, Kira, Katana, Cobra, Kung Lao, Li Mei, Liu Kang, Bavardo,
Meet Melina, Mocap, Moloch, Botaro, Nightwolf, Natara, Dupe Cybot, Onaga, Quan Chi, Rain, Rico, Reptile, Shira, Scorpion, Sector, Shang Tsung, Shao Kahn, Shiva, Shinnok, Shujinko, Sindel, Smoke, Sonya Blade, Striker, Sub-Zero, Tanya, and Taven, and the Creative Fighter. That is the entire roster that's in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. As of this point, that is everybody that is in the game, that has appeared in the game. And from there, we went to the worst game in the franchise, MK vs. DC. I really liked playing Mortal Kombat Armageddon growing up, because this came out in, 2008? 2006? I was in middle school, or going into high school when this came out. 2006, yeah, so this came out when I was in middle school. And I remember playing this and playing wrestling. This is, to this day, one of the best games because of the roster. Now on to the number one game ranked in my mind. And the number one game has two versions, a PS2 Xbox version and a PSP version. And that is going to be Mortal Kombat Deception Unchained. It's also for the PSP. But Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance has a conquest mode, it has the crypt, it has the chess combat, it has a decent little roster depending on what version you play. The PSP version has the best version of the roster for the game. The conquest mode, you play as Shujinko, a up-and-comer monk who wants to train Mortal Kombat. You start by training with Master Baraicho, and you play that all the way until you find out that you wasted your life. I'm not going to tell you why. Go play the game if you haven't, because the beginning of the story happens, I believe, before the first tournament. It's been a long time since I played this game because I don't remember. But the plot is, in the final events of Deadly Alliance, Raiden's warriors, who were selected to protect the Six Realms, are killed by the Deadly Alliance. The Deadly Alliance is Shang Tsung and Quan Chi, who attempted to conquer the realms. As the single survivor, Raiden attempts to fight both of the sorcerers, but he's ultimately defeated. The Deadly Alliance soon dissolves as the two sorcerers turn on each other for Shinnok's amulet. When Quan Chi wins, the Dragon King Onaga, the former emperor of the realm of Outworld, appears to regain his power. Quan Chi, Shang Tsung, and Raiden join forces to stop Onaga. Through Raiden ultimately unleashes all his power in a colossal explosion that, apart from destroying both members of the Deadly Alliance and the surrounding palace and himself, it has little to no effect on Onaga. Onaga now seeks the 6 artifacts called the Kamidogu, the tool of the god, or the divided clay, which are able to destroy the realms. These fighters who survive the battle against the Deadly Alliance now stand against Onaga and his supporters, the latter including Edenia, now led by Melina in a conquest of deception. She masquerades as her sister, Princess Katana. Other enemies include former defenders of the realms who were resurrected by Onaga and are put under his control. In the story of a conquest, a young man named Shujinko is deceived, like I stated earlier, spending his entire life collecting all the Kamidogus for Onaga, who is
the grim mercenary of the Elder Gods, the beings who created the realms named Damashi. Onaga reveals his identity and his intentions after Chujinko gathered all the Kamidogers. Chujinko is led to believe that he was working for a greater good and decides to continue training to defeat Onaga. That is the plot of Deception. Now, I'm going to tell you the difference between the PSP version and the GameCube version, because the PS2 version doesn't have anything special about it. The GameCube version has Goro and Shao Kahn, while the PSP version has Goro and Shao Kahn, but they also have Blaze, Frost, Jax, and Princess Katana. And the new characters in this game, there's 26 characters total. Is Ashura, Daru, Darius, Havoc, Huntaru, Kira, Cobra, Onaga, and Shujinko. The returning characters are Baracho, Baraka, Ermac, Jade, Cabal, Kenshi, Li Mei, Liu Kang, Melina, Nightwolf, Noob Saibot, Raiden, Scorpion, Sindel, Smoke, Sub-Zero, and Tanya. When this game came out back in 2004, it was widely popular. I believe it got a best hits, and it was the best Mortal Kombat game at the time, and it still is in my opinion. I love going back and playing this game whenever I can, because the conquest is fun, the chess one's fun, and it is fun to play the story mode over and over again. And that is my list. I want to thank you guys for listening, and please be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. But the announcement that I want to make is, some of you are asking, am I going to do a re-ranking of the MCU? Yes, I will, but not until after the phase is over, phase 4, or I might wait until after phase 5. Because the first ranking was the Infinity Saga ranking, so I might wait a little while. But I will possibly do a re-ranking of the MCU. Thank you, good night, and goodbye.